Hey, United Country fans, this is Emily Pond with United Country Lifestyle Properties of Maine, and I am out on lot 26 on Wolf Run Road in Greenbush. I'm going to show you a great piece of surveyed land. This property is 44.8 surveyed acres. This piece of land is on a private dirt road. It is basically maintained by the landowners, but there is no association. So there's a few landowners that live out here year round, and they're the ones that maintain the road. There's a couple that live out here past here, and they plow it in the winter. So you can get out to this property in the winter. There's no electricity on this road. There's no electricity for a couple miles. So this is definitely an off-grid property. So you'd use generator or solar in order to have power out here. There currently is no well or septic on this lot. The way this property is, there is a piece over here across the road, and then the majority of it is to this side. It's 700 feet wide and it's 2,700 feet long, and it basically goes back to Otterbrook. As I mentioned, the lot goes back 2,700 feet. The very back, if you look at the map, there are some wetlands at the very back of the lot, and that is because Otterbrook is back and it kind of like touches one of the boundaries. There is a driveway in here and there is a pad. Currently they have a camper on the pad and they're planning to leave the camper. It's a 1995 Prowler, so it's kind of an older camper, but it's still, they said everything in it's still functioning. On the property, you've got a pretty good mix of hardwoods and softwoods. It does look like it's mainly kind of smaller tree growth, but there are a few bigger trees as you get back down into the lot. The elevations on this property, it starts at 200 feet here by the road, and by the end of the lot, you're down to about 170, but it's a gradual decline, so it's not like a real steep. Obviously, if you're going 2,700 feet back and it's only 30 feet different from the front to the back, then it's a pretty level lot. The majority of the soils on this property are Scantic Lemoine, which is actually a little bit, it's a kind of a rocky soil. This is honestly best for pastures, woodlands, anything, like that. One thing I'm going to say about this is, although it is pretty heavily wooded, it's easily walkable. The trees are spaced far enough apart in most areas that you can walk this property pretty easily. And it actually looks like at some point they tried to create a few walking trails. So there are like a few trails through here that you can walk through to get to the back. The purchase price on this property is $59,900. Their current taxes are $397. Because it was in tree growth. The sellers have since taken it out of tree growth and put it in open space. So the taxes are going to increase some, just because tree growth is a huge tax break. But open space is also a tax break. And basically, there's degrees of open space. There's open space for wildlife management, and then and preservation, but then you can put it in full open space, which most people don't put it in full open space, because when it's in full open space, it means that people can walk on your land, like foot traffic is allowed to walk on your land. But by putting it in like partial open space, because it goes in degrees, you can put it like 25, then it's saying to the town that you're willing to use part of it for wildlife management. Here in Greenbush, you are about 20 minutes to Old Town. And Old Town, there's quite a few businesses in Old Town. There's some restaurants and there's some grocery stores and a couple hotels in like Milford. So you can get a lot of what you need in Old Town. The next big town would be Bangor, so you're about 35 minutes from Bangor. In Bangor, you've got your bigger box stores, you've got your Home Depot, your Lowe's, you've got the waterfront concert series, and then we are about 3 hours from Portland. And in Portland, you've got your bigger transportation hub, and you've got some museums. And then we are about 4.5 hours from Boston. As I mentioned before, the property is surveyed, and I just want to show you, like, here's one of the boundaries, and you can see the orange all the way down through. So it does seem to be marked really well. I think the survey was maybe 20 something years ago, so it's not a super old survey. So you should be able to find most of the markers on either side. And this is the boundary on the other side. This one is also marked good. It's got some red, on the trees and some pink flags, and so both boundaries are well marked. To sum it up, this is 44.8 surveyed acres. There is no electric, no well, no septic. It is off grid, but it is a fairly level piece of land. And the trees are, like I said, there's a mix of hardwood, softwood. It does seem like there's mostly smaller tree growth, but there is some bigger trees in there too. You've got a driveway and a pad already in place. There's a 1995 Prowler camper that they're planning to leave. Thank you for joining me today at Lot 26 Wolf Run Road in Greenbush. If you'd like some more information on this property, please give me a call at 207 794 4152.